Thanks for coming to our webinar. And today, uh, the topic of the conversation is the CMDB and how is it used in the mid-size and big organizations. And my name is Evgeny Vasilyev, and I'm leading the ITSM practice at Squalio. What we will discuss during the webinar. So first of all, we will say a couple of words about who we are and why do we talk about the CMDB. So what we usually see when we talk to the customers and they mention a CMDB or they need a CMDB or things like that. And what is usually behind this request, because sometimes when the customer says I need an IT asset management, it may be some different systems for different types of customers and different work processes and so on. Then we will discuss the solutions with which we work. So during our webinar, I will show the use cases and possible use of CMDB based on the work of Device 42 system. And I will also use an ITSM system fresh service as an example of an integration between a discovery tool and an ITSM system. And so there will be a demonstration. There will be you will see the real use cases on how can the integration work, how will the information go here and there, and so on. And then you are free to ask any questions. There is a Q&A section in this Teams webinar, so please feel free to ask questions. I will be happy to ask. I hope that I know all the answers. If I don't, we will send you the answers after the webinar, so please feel free to answer. I will try to answer the questions during the presentation, but sometimes it's not that easy. So I will try. I will do my best. So just a couple of words about Squalio. Our headquarters is in Riga, and we operate all over the Central and Eastern Europe and in CIS countries such as Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan, and do projects related to IT asset management, software asset management all over the world. And we also do projects related to ITSM, doing this IT service management workflows, automating IT service management processes, and so on. So we try to build a comprehensive portfolio of services and software products that we use to automate this really important part of the IT department work. And we work with some top vendors in the market. We picked just several. We try not to spread our focus, and we try to work with the specific solutions and focus on the quality. So we work with many customers across the region from different sectors, from banking, finance, gas and oil, telecom sector. So we know how to build the IT asset management and how to approach it from different perspectives, from the software license management point of view, from CMDB point of view, discovery, financial asset management, FinOps, and so on. So we have a really great experience in this field. So let's get closer to the topic. So what is a CMDB and why does an organization need it? How does it work in the environment and in the framework of other IT related processes? So if we have a look at ITIL, configuration, service configuration, asset management practice, we see that first of all that the configuration management is a highly automated practice. So it's already mentioned in ITIL that this has to be automated, which is usually not in place for many organizations, and which is not satisfiable and not acceptable for bigger organizations. And managing the configurations is about building a database for all different configuration items, and building and this database, basically CMDB, is a part of configuration management system, which also includes the relationships between the different configuration items and users, and maybe documents and each other and business services and so on. So we come to several key points. It's automated. It's a database. It has to apart from just maintaining the records, it has to maintain the information about the the relationships and dependencies between the configuration items, and it has to be integrated into the work of other IT processes such as incident management, change management, problem management, and so on and so forth. So what do we see when we come to a customer and there is some demand for a CMDB? I have to separate the needs that we see into two parts. So the first one is quite basic, so it's mostly about the inventory automation. It's about having a single source of truth where the information about the whole infrastructure is stored and where it's automatically updated. There is a specific requirement to have a separate list of software that's being used in the infrastructure, software and operating systems, and also to track the history of changes, maintain the audit logs for the infrastructure to be able to resolve the incidents, maybe investigate some security related issues and so on. So this is more or less a basic thing that let's speak honestly, is quite a lot of tools in the market can provide, because the basic inventory is a basic inventory. But then there is a but then if we get back to the previous slide and recollect the definition of CMS from ITIL, it has to maintain the relationships between configuration items and business services, and this is what the basic the inventory and basic discovery doesn't provide. So there is an advanced set of needs, and it includes the information about that can be used to manage the devices as assets, like information about user assignment, about departments, about interconnection between devices and licenses used, and so on. Second is the service topology maps or resource service models, which ideally should be maintained automatically and discovered automatically, because in the current dynamic environment with all the container infrastructure, with the cloud infrastructure, if the incident happens and it happened some time ago and it's related to some dynamic parts of your infrastructure, sometimes it's not really possible to understand how did the service look like at that point in time. And this means that the dynamic infrastructure should be automatically logged so that the incident investigation is enabled by this information. And also, as I mentioned, for the basic use case, an inventory or a CMDB, so-called system, can be a standalone, but for proper use, it has to be integrated with other ITSM processes, such as incident management, change, problem, project, and so on. So this means that the system that should automate this CMDB creation, discovery, data normalization, and so on, should have several important capabilities. First of all, it should discover the infrastructure, and the bigger the company, the more and the better should be the technology coverage for the infrastructure, because bigger organizations that have history, they sometimes they use some legacy equipment, so they need a really broad technology coverage for the discovery and inventory system. And also for the bigger infrastructure, the data normalization mechanisms should work well, because otherwise it will just create a mess in the database, and this database will not be used properly. Second block of requirements is the integration with the first of its basic integrations, like integration with SCCM or Active Directory. Then it should be integrations with ITSM systems or IT operations systems or IT infrastructure management systems, so different types of integrations with the tools that utilize the information about infrastructure for their needs. And its ability to create service topology maps, because of the reasons that I mentioned already, because in the dynamic infrastructure, nobody is able to maintain the up-to-date service topology maps every day. It's just not possible. Also, the system should provide reporting and analytics capabilities, and we quite often see the demand for side use cases, because when the information about the inventory is already there, is already in the database, then okay, why not to manage the physical infrastructure to enable DCIM with this information? Or if we collect the data about the CPU usage and hard disk drive usage, why not to present the reports related to capacity planning? Or if we still collect the information about this installed software, why not to have some software asset management, license management module? And all of that gives more transparency. All of that leads to the decreased mean time to restore the services, because the less time is required to look for information, because the connections and dependencies between different configuration items are now clear. And this all is about the business impact. The less time we spend to investigate the incidents, the less risk we pose to our changes when we plan it, the less risk is to business. The less time the business spends, and the less money they spend for just waiting or losing the customers because of the outages. For this webinar, in our case, actually, we know our portfolio for discovery and CMDB creation, we have Device42. Now it's a Freshworks company. So we use the ITSM system from Freshworks called Freshservice as an ITSM to show how should the discovery and CMDB creation tool work. And they basically have a native integration between each other. So Device42 performs the discovery, it performs the data updates, it discovers the application dependencies, and then all this data is being passed into CMDB in Freshservice, where it's continuously updated and now related to ITSM processes such as incident change and so on. So a few words about Freshservice. It's a cloud-based solution. It's one of the vendors that is very dynamically developing right now, and they are so the latest Gartner report in this field is from 2022, but they're still moving forward, and the acquisition of Device42 has moved them even higher. The system provides capabilities to automate all of the essential IT service management processes. It has many automation capabilities. It provides a self-service mobile application, AI with the chatbots, with smart analytics, and so on. And Device42 is a tool that basically enables this discovery. It performs the discovery and CMDB creation, and it is available both on premises and the cloud. And it's now the advanced discovery module for Freshservice, enabling inventory, application dependency mapping, software license management, some parts of the capacity planning, and we will see more use cases. Device42 has a very broad technology coverage, so from Windows, Linux, macOS, servers, cloud environments, databases, storage arrays, support for different virtualization technologies, network discovery, and so on. So this makes the tool great for the use in the big organizations with the diverse IT landscape, with the diverse vendors landscape. So all of that can be covered with the use of Device42. And what does it basically do? It collects the data. It collects the hardware information about the hardware configurations. It collects the information about software, services, IP addresses, operating systems, some network inventory, information about the physical DC devices such as PDUs and UPS. It can maintain the information about business services and application components and application topology maps. So it covers the management of the different types of configuration items, starting from the physical layer, physical infrastructure like DC information, DC infrastructure management, and up to the business applications level, where we can really manage the business applications and manage the maps, manage the ways how do application components influence each other. So this makes the system useful, and there are four main directions where it can be used. First of all, it's for physical infrastructure management, DCIM. So there is a way to create server room maps and data center maps, rack layouts, and manage the physical interconnections between devices, which helps the data center teams to maintain the configuration data and track and document the data about the infrastructure. Then on top of that data center, let's say physical inventory, there is an IT CMDB population. So the tool discovers the physical servers, it discovers the virtual machines, it discovers all the network, it can discover the storage array infrastructure, container infrastructure with Kubernetes and Docker, cloud infrastructure, and it can track the dependencies between different configuration items, which lets us build the maps for the service topology and so on, and basically manage the not just the inventory but the dependencies between different tools. Then, when the information is collected, we can enable some IT asset management use cases such as software license management, assignment or purchase management, compliance. We can like build this kind of reports and use it for internal audits or external audits, which makes the IT asset management easier. And then there is a possibility to understand if the cloud migration is beneficial or not. So there is a recommendation mechanism that can help understand what and where and when can be migrated to the cloud or vice versa. So just in a few words about Device 42, why do we like it and why I think it's why the customers like it. First, it's a self-sufficient system solution. It can work as a part of a bigger ITSM environment with Freshservice, or it can work with any other system. So basically, the guys build their strategy on ability to integrate with any other ITSM systems, such as ServiceNow, such as Jira Service Management, such as ZenWorks, so different tools. And actually, for some of the use cases, such as Jira, we understand that sometimes Device 42 is the only way how to enable the infrastructure discovery, because the native discovery agents of the ITSM systems are not, because the vendors are not that, let's say, focused on this part. They may overload the systems, they may collect improper data. So because of that, the advanced discoveries such as Device 42 is a preferred way. So also it has a broad discovery coverage, many technologies starting from physical infrastructure to cloud and container infrastructure and so on. It can be integrated with different types of systems. It has connectors, not only to ITSM systems. It has connectors to SCCM, to infrastructure management tools, monitoring tools. So this data can be used in different other systems. It enables the additional use cases such as DCIM, IPAM, software asset management, and ITAM, and capacity management. And right now, I think that we will jump into a demonstration. And when starting the demonstration, I would like to announce the use cases that we are going to have a look at. So first of all, I will show just several use cases for CMDB and the integration between a discovery and an ITSM system. And first, there will be a basic use case like inventory reporting. We will have a look at how can the device record look like in the discovery tool and in the ITSM. Then there will be two other use cases for incident investigation or vice versa for change planning. And then we will have a look at software asset management and IT asset management and capacity management use cases. So, okay, let's jump into a demonstration. Right now, we are in the Freshservice interface. So now we are in the ITSM system, and here I would just like to explain a couple of things. So first of all, in this view, in the fresh service, there is an ITS asset management module, which can in which we can track the assets. We can create our own asset types, or we can manage the existing asset types. We have many fields for each of the asset type, and we can customize them. But for this view, I have many views saved for myself. So here you see that some of the devices have been created by Device42, some of them by Discover Agent, some of them just are created manually by myself. So the ITSM system, proper ITSM system, will show the source of information, source of updates for a device. And if we have a look at any device, like this will be a laptop. So now there is information about my laptop. So I have the type, like it's a laptop. I have a model, the product. I can add other fields such as vendor, cost, warranty, and other fields. And there is the information about my device. So it's a Windows laptop with Windows 11 Enterprise installed. I have information about the operating system build, the physical information about the CPU, RAM, and so on, MAC address, IP addresses, host name, and so on. So all this information has been collected by Device42, and I have actually updated the information about my device right before the webinar, so it's here. And Device42 automatically collects the data about the components, about the hard drives, network adapter, CPU, RAM, and also it collects the information about the installed software, including the knowledge base updates and so on. So let's have a look at the same. So let's pick up another to my device, and let's have a look at the same device in Device42. Oh, this is my device. In my ITSM system, I have an integration with Device42, and I can view the data. So I can view the fields that have come from Device42 and how these fields are mapped to my system fields. So all of the fields here are collected from Device42, and I can manage the mapping basically. I can add some custom mappings and so on. So now let's switch to the device page in our environment. Okay, it will ask me to log in. So now we've come to a page of the same device in Device42. It's loading. A little bit slower than it's expected to be, but I hope that it's not that boring. So yeah, now we have the information about my device. This is my device record. So here are the different parts of the record. And I can have a look at my device. So here is the name, the type. This is the model, real ID, information about the CPU, like hardware configuration information about operating system, and you see that here is the AI pictogram, and it says that the Enrich AI, the AI mechanism that is built in Device42, has enriched the data about this operating system. So it has enriched the data about the version, the build, the end of life, end of support dates. This information comes out from the AI-powered search for the operating system or applications information. And then there is a list of just standard information here. I don't have it all in this view in Fresh Service, but in Device 42, I have information about ports. I have information about the discovery scores, and you see that the device has been discovered twice today. So there is an asset lifecycle information. So I told that Device 42 can cover the IT asset management, and here we can assign it to a user. We can track the different types of asset lifecycle events and track them. So there is information about the parts like CPU, GPU, RAM, and other devices and hardware components. There is an information about my software list, and I can load more if I need, and service instances that are now working on this device, and information about the hard drives. Basically, if I take this information from here, and I can have a look at this is the way how the information is collected, and Device 42 collects the information about different types of assets. So it can be some compute devices such as servers or laptops or computers. It can be network devices, subnets, and also IP address management, storage devices. Separately, the databases are being discovered, container infrastructure, services, operating systems, software components, and so on, and certificates. And also we can build the applications and manage the application groups. And then we can go into analytics to visualize all the picture. So the discovery is done agentlessly. Most of the devices are being discovered without the use of agents. And the use of agents is a matter of choice of the specific customer use case, because agentless discovery is simpler to manage. It's quicker. But on the other hand, it requires network access, and it requires to maintain the list of the ports through which the devices are being scanned, and it also requires the proper account to scan the network. Agent-based discovery doesn't require this type of an administrator account. It can work with any port, but at the same time, there is an agent that has to be installed in the system, which can also expose the system to the risk. And despite Device 42 agents only collect the data and send it to the main server, the agents cannot perform any tasks, but still sometimes it's a roadblock. And at the same time, the agent infrastructure is a little bit harder to maintain, because to update the agents, it's another process. So depending on the use case, agent-based or agentless, 95% agentless is the best practice for this. And so based on the information that we collected in Fresh Service from right out from this inventory page, we can either just export the data, export the report for the I don't know, for the type of assets that we would like to export. We can just pick up the fields which we need for our report and so on. Or we can build dashboards such as this one. It's quite easy. It's a very intuitive process, but sometimes, because it is done very easily with drag and drop mechanisms, but sometimes there are some limitations, because there is no way to run an SQL query and really query the database. So, but all the basic information about how many assets do we have, what are the categories, what are the types, and now I am showing the software-related dashboard and report that helps me understand the software landscape, like and the types and categories of software, the most used software, track the installations and users for each software, track the status of software-related contracts. So all of that can be tracked in Fresh Service. For inventory, as I said, sometimes there's let's say, simple drag and drop based reporting is not enough. And so because of that, there can be other reports such as, I will start another report because I plan to show it a little bit later because it's not about what we already discussed. So device 42 has a reporting functionality called Insights Plus, and it enables the creation of reports for some of the reports come out of the box. Like there are quite a lot of several dozens of reports come out of the box, and for the rest, you can create your own visualization and you can create your own data sets. And here, unlike in Fresh Service and many, let's say, out-of-the-box ITSM systems, we can freely operate with the database data and query it with the help of AI. Because in device 42, there is an Insights AI mechanism, which is a Gen AI for creating the requests to the device 42 database. And it helps to create reports and data sets based on the natural language without even deep knowledge of DOQL, which is an internal query language that looks like SQL. So here we have the basic reports for IT asset management, like for physical virtual infrastructure. We can break down by locations, break down by device types. So this is the just a basic inventory report in device 42. So that's how we covered the first use case. So it was about inventory and reporting. And let me check if there are any questions. Let's see, any questions? I hope there are some. So let's switch to the next use case. It's incident investigation. So how will it look like? First of all, I will create an incident. And I will go to the ITSM system and I will create a ticket for a service. So imagine I will put myself as a requester, but we can imagine that somebody has called a service desk and said that test service is not available. So we don't really understand how is it. So it's quite urgent. The impact is medium. So I will just put some description, and I will associate service or test service with this incident. So now I have my incident, and there is a service called test service, and one of the natural things that an engineer that will to which this ticket will be assigned is to check what does the service look like, what does it depend on, and why will it why can it actually be not available. So let's have a look at test service. We see that we have many alerts coming for this test service, and why? What are where are the alerts? And I see that there is a service, and the alerts here are coming for the server called DC1 local. So let's have a look at the alert, and the alert has come some time ago, and there is an incident related to this alert, and this incident is related to a specific asset, which is called DC1 demo local server. So this alert has come from a monitoring system, and there is an integration configured between Fresh Service and a monitoring system, and Fresh Service can basically parse the data from the events from monitoring systems, filter them, process these events, automatically create incidents or filter these events out. And it collects the alerts for the similar incidents. So you see that AI that is built in the first service called Freddy AI picks a similar related ticket for me. See that there is another incident which is very similar to the same incident. So there was a server DC1. So let's have a look at the server. Now we see that it has been discovered by device 42 and it has also been updated today. It's a virtual machine. It's a Windows server, and we can check the components for the server. So basically the same thing as I showed for the laptop. And there's a list of software installed, and there is the list of associated incidents and alerts. Let me check the Q&A section once again, because I think that I might miss something. Okay. Let me. I think that we can just stop a little bit, because I would like to answer the question. So, do I need a license for first service and device 42 if I want both solutions? The answer is yes. You need licenses for both, because those are different systems, and first service has its own discovery capabilities. First service can utilize agents or agentless discovery, but the information net and the technology coverage is way smaller. It's not that broad as for device 42. So in case it's not required, for instance, the infrastructure is small, it's enough. But when the infrastructure is bigger or it's more complicated, the advanced discovery is required. So next question: if I need to cover the whole technology scope in my infrastructure, do I need one license for multiple modules? That's a good question. The answer is this: there is a single module that will cover the whole infrastructure. So is required. So another question: can I integrate device 42 with Ninja One? I have to check the integration. As far as I remember, yes. And can we track the Gen AI usage? That's a good question. Frankly speaking, I don't have an answer for this, and I also have to check the usage of Gen AI. So there are other questions, I guess, that I may miss. Oh, I see the question if device 42 is available on premises or in the cloud, and the answer is it can be both. So primary availability is on premise, because usually this discovery thing is quite sensitive, and the security guys don't like these types of systems working out from the cloud. So the primary use for device 42 is on premise, but it can also be used as an Azure image or AWS, so it can be both. Another question is for, yes, I have answered for the question about the licenses. And there is a question about the support for Kubernetes clusters. Yes, the answer is yes, and I hope that in the end of webinar I will be able to show how device 42 discovers the Docker and Kubernetes clusters. So there is another question about the integration of device 42 to infrastructure automation tools. Yes, device 42 can be integrated with the tools such as Ansible, Puppet, Chef. So and also there is API, so you can just use this information. And yeah, I think that I'm now done with the questions. Thanks a lot. So please feel free to ask more questions. let's get back to the conversation, to the demonstration. So we have stopped in the place where the incident was created for a service, and we have found out that the service depends on a server. And if we have a look at the relationship map, you see that there is a relationship map in fresh service, and it's coming right from device 42. Okay, it's now a little bit complicated, but for test services, it comes from device 42, and the second one, the upper part is let's say it's manually created. So if we have a look at the device page, and we view this asset in device 42, then we see that there's a server, and we actually checked its page already. So now we will check the information about its connections, its application groups, and the services that it works for. So on my device page for this DC1 demo server, it's loading. I have different tabs for application groups, for impact, for topology, and what interests me here is that here is the business services tab, and I see that this server maintains and underpins the work of a service. Let's have a look at the service itself. So there is a service page, and I have my test service here, and you see that the information is there is an information about what this business application is, what are the discovery targets, who are the business and technology owner, what are the devices related to this service and maintenance work, what are the application components that are part of its topology, and we also can build kind of business the service topology maps, such as the one that's gonna appear on the screen right now. It's quite a simple one, but we can create really sophisticated maps that will depict the way how does the system look like. So for instance, we can, if we go into business applications and or on another demo environment, which I'm using, and we pick up another business service, then we see that the way how the business service can be visualized is can be really complex. So now it will load, and this way, how do we investigate the incident, helps to make things easier, help the engineers to resolve the incidents faster, to find the root causes faster, to do it or to reduce the number of errors when it comes to resolving the incidents. And so when we have the application, the business application map like that, it's already quite simple to locate the problems, because we understand all the infrastructure that is supporting the work of a business application. So now let's switch to the next use case. And the next use case was change planning. So this works vice versa. And when in the incident investigation, we have to go from the incident and react and investigate the ways how can the infrastructure influence the work of business services. And the change planning, that's vice versa. We need to plan a change. For instance, we need to replace a UPS that's powering a rack, and we would like to understand what services will have to be switched to a reserve location, or which services can be actually affected by this change. And let's have a look how we do it. So we go back to our system, and we will create a change. So now we are in the ITSM system. I will say that I'm gonna create an IT related change. I will do it for myself. It will be the SCCM server update. It's gonna be a standard change. In first service, I can configure different types of change life cycles according to ITIL, such as minor, major, standard, and urgent, like emergency. So there's gonna be all priority, medium impact, and I will say that's, for instance, I have to install a specific knowledge base update. So I will plan this change, and in first service we can utilize maintenance windows, and the closest maintenance window is on Friday for this type of servers. So the change will be here, and say I will require 1 hour for this change, and I will associate an asset with that. So because I'm going to work with SCCM server, it's here. I have now associated with my change. I will not fill the planning and rollback and so on fields, because the change management is not in the ITSM system is not the point of this demonstration. So I will fill the data related to the assets and inventory and maintenance windows. So now I have my change. Here I have my maintenance window. Now I have my asset, which is called SCCM demo. And now the system has picked up different services that are dependent on this server. So we have seen how test service is related to different other servers. One of them was DC1 that we showed in the previous use case, and another one is SCCM. And if we go back to our business application, we see that here is my SCCM demo local server. So as soon as the connection between the business application and a specific server is defined in device 42, then it's immediately appears in fresh service, and then we can use it for demonstrations. And how can we utilize this data, and how can we visualize it? First of all, we can use it in the as an application discovery. So device 42 discovers applications, and it helps me locate the dependencies between different applications and between different nodes. So here, for instance, I have this physical host, which has interconnection to other configuration items. In our case, those are the virtual servers. And also, so the connections are to several virtual servers and to a couple of PDUs. So we can filter some of the types of the devices, like we can only keep PDU and network, for instance, and there will be a cloud of different types of devices. And also there is an interesting dashboard with the composition of impact of different application components and different types of say, here are my business applications. Now here is the network, and or let's go here, application components, or different application components, and we can actually go through from the business application to a specific virtual server that supports this application. Another use case is here. It looks similarly, but this is about the use case that I mentioned. It's about when I would like to replace a UPS or PU, and I would like to understand which business services may be affected. Such as here, I see that this power module is powering the work of this Amplify application through powering this physical server, because these virtual machines are running on this physical server. And I have two more PDUs like that, so I can understand. So you see that here the same application called Amplify, and the machines that are working on it. So that's how change management is powered by CMDB creation and discovery tools such as Device 42. Apart from that, we have two other, let's say, side use cases for software and IT asset management and for capacity management. I will show them once, and the system collects the data about the software, and then this information can be used for first to create this type of reports. So you see that I have my software name, type, category, license model. Device42 supports different license models. And then because I can track the number of licenses being purchased and I can track the number of instances, the system creates quite a simple compliance report that lets me helps me understand how much utilized are my licenses and if I am under licensed or over licensed, which can help me optimize the software related budget. Another, or actually we can go into just managing the operating systems, and in another environment with Device42, let's go into, say, operating systems being in use, and it's loading. While it's loading, I'm going to check the questions section. I see 2 more questions. Device42, do I have compliance reports for vendors such as Microsoft, Oracle, etc.? So Device42 is not a software asset management tool. Because of that, there are no out-of-the-box software asset management reports, but you can create the reports the way you like. So just as I mentioned previously, you can filter the data coming from software licenses and software discovery just to Microsoft or to Oracle or another vendor, and then create compliance reports. And for instance, here for Microsoft Server Data Center, here is my purchase license count, license model, some enriched data coming from Enrich AI, like there's a end of life, end of support, version build, and so on, and the list of devices where the software has been discovered. And I can also count or discount the licensing, this device and licensing. So yeah, the answer to the question is partially yes. Like no, there are no pre-configured reports for Microsoft and Oracle, but you can track this. Another is, oh, that's a great question. It's about the ESG metering. The question is, does your solution offer ESG metering? We are in an industry that requires carbon footprint impact. That's a great question because there is a report for carbon footprint. And so because Device42 can collect the power consumption data, and it has an inbuilt algorithm for using this data to calculate the carbon emission. You can, there is a dashboard that's coming out of the box that helps you track the carbon emission for your infrastructure. And there is it's documented. So here you see that the carbon emission per physical site, per vendor, per, I don't know, customer or department if you manage them, and so on. And there is quite a detailed documentation of how does it work, what data is used for calculation of the carbon footprint. So for this type of audits, right out of the box, you can collect the data about carbon footprint. Also, the thing that the dashboard that is related somehow to ESG because it's about resource utilization, but it's also very important for managing the IT infrastructure, is about capacity planning, which is the latest use case I plan to show. And here we can also do create a dashboard, and we can also use it to manage the physical part of infrastructure, such as space in the racks, spare units, spare ports, and so on. Spare blades, so the blade chassis slots. Then we can go into compute resources and understand how are our resources used? Are they underutilized, overutilized, and or how can we optimize this resource usage? We can track the hypervisor information, how does our virtual infrastructure look like in terms of usage, and we can plan storage capacity. And basically, when we go into compute devices, we can, for instance, break it down by business application, which helps me understand how do my business services utilize the infrastructure. Is it efficient? Is it not efficient? Who uses more? Who uses less? But here, because we have our service topology map, we can see how much how our infrastructure is and business services, how do they use their resources. So that's basically everything that I plan to show during this webinar. And there was a question about Kubernetes, and we can have a quick look at how will it be visualized here. Like we can visualize it like this. Okay. I have to pick up another resource. Probably something has changed. Yeah, so it will show me all the worker nodes and the further topology, so on, which is really great. Also, for there is such thing called application groups, which visualizes the interconnection between different application components, such as database, middleware, application service, web service, and so on. We can not only visualize these dependencies, but we can also track the changes in this topology map through the time. So we can basically roll out to date 1 month before or 6 months before and look how was how did the application look like. So another last thing I wanted to show is that we can not only visualize this high-level logical infrastructure such as containers, but we can also visualize the physical infrastructure, network infrastructure. And if I hide the cores that are not used, because this is quite an often question. So here we have a port and we have the devices, and we can track the ways how the devices are connected to each other, which is great for network discovery and basically managing the physical network. So yeah, dear colleagues, that's all for this webinar. So Device42 is a great tool that can really reduce the time to restore the infrastructure after the incidents, and can help you prevent the incidents, and all of that is to optimize the business spend, reduce the risks, reduce compliance risk, reduce the reputation risks, and so on. So despite it's a really technical tool, it has in our technology world, it has a great impact on the business because of technology, because all the businesses are now very dependent on technology. So what's next? What are the next steps, and how can we communicate further? So first of all, we are open to calls, to conversations, tailored demos. Let's just meet and discuss your needs, because Device42 is can be used in various ways. It has a modular licensing, so different types of functionality can be added as a license. And it has quite a flexible device-based licensing. So all those modules are licensed by a number of devices, and we can fit into different types of needs. There are trial licenses. If you are interested in trying this tool in your environment, we can negotiate and provide you trial licenses, help you deploy the system and see how it works in the production environment. We can actually do it by ourselves, so we can conduct POCs, and we can assist you in doing this pilot projects. Or actually, Device42 is a great tool for conducting one-time assessments. Actually, if you have a big infrastructure and what you only need is just a snapshot and CMDB population, we can come and conduct this as a service, as a one-time assessment, after which you get a report of your infrastructure and will just go away. So you don't have to buy the tool itself. We have a great team here, so please feel free to contact the managers, and I'm managing the practice, and my colleagues Dimitar, Edgas, and Yus, they manage the regions where we work. And thanks a lot for your time. I hope the session was useful. And if you have any questions, we're still here in the webinar. I see another report. Another question. So the question is if the reporting has if there is a report related to security standards. So the answer is that actually the answer is no. So there are, if we can go into security standards like managing CVEs, CVSS, like scores for vulnerabilities, Device42 doesn't have functionality to discover these things. But at the same time, Device42 is very useful for security incidents investigation when it comes to quick isolation of the devices that have specific vulnerable operating system build installed, or a specific update installed, or a specific file, like when it was a Log4j attack, it was crucial to quickly isolate the devices with a specific operating system that was vulnerable. And Device42 is a great tool to quickly get this information. So the answer is no, it doesn't have specific security reports, but it can be used for security reasons, and it's a great tool, and it really helps the security departments to understand how do the business services look like, and how do the devices communicate to each other. So which is very useful for incident investigation. Okay, thanks a lot.